right, now I'm done. I've talked enough. It's your guys' turn to ask questions. So if you have a question, raise your hand. Yes, we have microphones here. Great. Let's start.
Okay.
Hello. First of all, so fun. My question is kind of a two-parter. So part one is, how did you come up with the name Cosmic Ocean? And secondly, how do you guys know each other? Like, were you friends first and then became a band? Or were you neighbors? Or were you strangers on the street? Like, what's your story? The end.
He picked me up at the pound.
Wait, what was that, Ashley?
You conscripted me.
Okay, so the name of the band Cosmic Ocean, back in 2020 when we were like trying to rename our original project Out of Time, we probably had like a whole list of a bunch of names, a bunch of ridiculous names, a bunch of cool names, and I think Skunk or my brother, someone suggested Cosmic Ocean. And it's a reference to a few things, but I think of it more as a Carl Sagan reference. Are there any Carl Sagan fans? Yeah. He says the surface of the Earth is the shore of the cosmic ocean. So, yeah. And then, I met Emily in college. I was in bands with Aaron. I met him at work. And I teach Ashley at work.
Anyone else have a question? Raise your hand, raise your hand. All right.
All right. So this is obviously your side job, or maybe your full-time job. So I would like to know what you guys all do for your day job. I'm a student at CSUN. I'm training to be a history teacher, so if anyone here represents a school and will hire me, I would like to.
I teach at Impulse Music Co. and I also play in other tribute bands.
I work at Honey Verdette.
I teach drums at Impulse Music Co. and then I also play a church gig, and then I play in a Smiths cover band and a Misfits and Smiths cover band.
I moonlight as a sound guy. I'll do sound down at the theater here. I'll do sound at local churches. Just whatever I do, and then during the day I also I work security for the school district.
Awesome. Anyone else have a question? I think I saw. Awesome. Okay. We'll go.
Security.
What was the best song you probably made?
Don't look at Michael. Answer the question.
The best song or my favorite?
Best.
The best. Oh boy.
Who has the most hits?
That's a question for them, isn't it?
Everybody say it at the same time.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Favorite song.
Circles.
My favorite song, because I can't speak for the best song, is probably Cobra Maneuver. I really like Cobra Maneuver. It really gets me going. It's good. It's terrible.
I didn't help write any of the songs, so I don't know why he handed me the mic. What's my favorite song? Drag Me to the Dark, because during rehearsal. Yeah, my first rehearsal with them playing that song, at the very end I just blasted the double kick and Michael gave me the stank face and I went, all right, it's in, cool.
Yeah, I think Circles, that one is really, really great one. But Drag Me to the Dark is so fun to play. Like, I love that one.
I really have a soft spot for the first track on our first album, Shadows in the Moonlight, because it does everything I want a song to have. It's like heavy, it's also a ballad, it has harpsichord and sitars, so there you go.
I'm a sucker for the big band aspect of Beasley's, and I really love the Cab Calloway influence. I also like Drag Me to the Dark a lot for the Latin section. That's my favorite.
All right. Awesome. Next question, Zagaya.
So where did you get your start in music? What inspired you to do what you do now?
I started music really young, 8 years old, doing voice lessons. My mom sort of I don't want to be mean, she forced me into it by doing a theater program, and I took to it. And then I was like, all right, I'll learn more stuff. And then I fell in love with bass, especially probably pre-COVID. Steve Priest, of course, from The Sweet. So that's how I got into it.
I got into music from my parents, and my dad said you should play guitar because your other friends play guitar, something like that. And then eventually I picked up other instruments that were lying around the house, like piano and bass and stuff. So yeah.
I have a version of it, and my dad has a version of it, and somewhere they coincide. But my version is that I was singing around with my friend, which is like you start the song, and then like maybe a measure or two later they start the song, and so it just goes in around. And he heard, and he was like, "Oh, I think you can do this." And then that's kind of where I got the encouragement to continue doing it. Similar story, you can ask him, but it wasn't exactly that. But I think it's just something I've always done. I remember there was a brief time, where my sister and I shared a room, and we'd do like singing lessons when we didn't want to go to sleep. We just put on a CD. But singing is something I've always done. I don't think it was ever like a specific moment in time. So.
I have a funny story that I'm going to share of how I became a drummer because it was almost on accident. So I grew up with my grandparents. We had this old badminton set that was in the garage since like the 60s. No one touched it. One of those badminton rackets became a guitar for me to play while I was watching music videos and stuff. So my mom had some family friends over in the living room. I was in the family room watching TV. The My Chemical Romance Helena music video had just come out. So I was going nuts, like 12 years old, headbanging, playing this badminton racket guitar. All of a sudden my mom goes, because I had had guitar lessons in the past, my hands were too small, bar chords were impossible, I quit. So I just hear this voice go from across the house like, "Sean, do you want guitar lessons again?" And of course I'm mortified that I've been caught doing this in front of the TV, and out of embarrassment I literally went, "Heck no, I want to play drums." And then for some reason my mom just said, "Sure," and now 20 years later, here I am.
Probably what got me into playing guitar was my late older brother would he played guitar and wrote songs and stuff like that, and I would sneak into his room and steal his guitar, and he taught me like this one string Smoke on the Water, and then I would just play that over and over and over again, and then eventually Santa Claus got me my first guitar, and then I never put it down.
Nice. That was a really good question. All right.
Throw it open to anyone. What prompted you to cover the song "Ordinary World" by Duran Duran? And what other songs have you covered in the past?
That's a good question. Okay, so Ordinary World is very special to me. It's like one of my favorite songs of all times. I went on a road trip last year where I drove from here in California all the way to Illinois and took a plane back. And then when I got to the airport, I was like, man, I actually did it. I'm not in trouble at all, and like this actually worked out. I don't owe anybody money. I had a fun time. I'm not in trouble. I'm here at the airport, and I sit down, and Ordinary World starts playing, and I'm like, oh, I remember this song. This is so great. And then I think I was just inspired to play this at this show because of the fires that happened a few months ago, and how this song's all about kind of coping with where you're at, your current situation. So it feels kind of applicable to what people are going through there. We've also covered "Owner of Lonely Hearts" by Yes. We've covered "Terror on a Wayward Son." This one's a bit esoteric, but we covered a kind of like this piece from Riverdance called Marta's Dance, the Russian Dervish. It's a piece that's in like 15/16 and is like this big fiddle dance tune, and we had a fun time with that. We also covered a song from a band that Emily likes. The song's called "Hurt." It's not the one that everybody's probably thinking of. It's from a band called Dead Poets Society. And that was a fun one too. We should bring that one back.
All right, cool. Thank you. That was a good question. Any other very good questions?
If you could each add one cover of your choice to the set, whatever you want, everybody has to learn it. What would you do?
I might do Extreme Get the Funk Out. I just think it's so fun.
I did an arrangement of a lot of songs from the Wizard of Oz soundtrack, and I really want to do my arrangement of Cyclone live. It's literally just the music from the Cyclone sequence. Yeah, so maybe at a future show.
They already did the song that I wanted to do, which was really, really fun. So I'd probably pick something from my favorite band, Bad Flower, which is another rock band. It'd probably be pretty similar. So.
I've been telling Michael for the last couple of gigs, if we don't do a Thin Lizzy cover, there's going to be consequences. So probably It's Only Money off the Nightlife album, because it's incredibly funky, but also a headbanger at the same time. So.
I don't have an answer.
What did you put in the little drawing that we did a few months ago?
You put a Paramore song.
Oh, did I put a Paramore song? Was it Misery Business?
Cool.
Probably that one.
Awesome. Any other questions?
So guys, we clearly hear different genres of music in your songs, but at some point you think you're gonna zero in and define what genre you want to play?
I was gonna say no, probably not. I feel like there's too many, like, I didn't grow up listening to progressive rock, so this is all new to me, and that's why this band is fun, because it's a challenge. But I feel like I can still come to the table and have a voice with the genres that I like. And Michael's not this overruling band leader that's like, no! So he really takes all of our influences and tried to appease us all. There's an audience out there for us.
No comment.
Awesome.
No.
Great. Any other questions?
If you guys could choose each venue of your choice to play within the next year to 3 years, what would be a dream place that you'd want to play at with the songs you played like tonight?
I say the Troubadour. I always wanted to play there.
I don't really know many venues, but I'd probably pick like Wembley in London or something.
I'm basic, and she stole my answer, so I'm gonna say the Rainbow. Back in its heyday, would have been amazing.
It's not a venue, it's outdoors, and you gotta actually put a stage on there. But one of the earliest concerts I went to, I was living in Washington State, and there's a festival that they do every year at the Columbia River Gorge. And the stage is literally right at the edge of just a massive cliff, and the Columbia River's at the bottom of it. And that would be incredible. That's gonna take more than a couple years to get there, though.
In the next year, I would love to get on the stage out here on Main Street, Thursday, the first Thursday of the month when they do census. I would love to get there. Third Thursday.
Woo! Census!
Yeah, let's do it. So, I would love to do that, or I think this is realistic. I've been talking to people. I want it to happen. Is if nothing but an opening act for one of the Concerts in the Park events. I think that's possible. I think we should do that, and then it'd be awesome to play Red Rocks.
Red Rocks. All right. Okay, we have time for one more question. Does anyone want to ask the last question? Going once, going twice. Favorite colors.
You want to start?
Red.
Orange.
Blue.
No. We were going to make a rainbow.
That's a lie, it's blue.
Green.
Red or purple?